You're in for a treat.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays.
2 West.
6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
We got new hours because we're nerdish.
And we're in our 20s despite our looks, so we gotta do things in the evening time over the summer.
Correct, but not too late because, as Levi said, we're in our mid-20s.
Not our early 20s.
And not our late 20s, the mid-20s.
Yes, we're the Goldilocks of 20s.
That's right, I shouldn't have laughed. I gotta keep it cool, because this is our intro rap, where we keep things cool.
We're very cool, so cool we might want a dance break.
Hey, thanks for watching our dance break.
Now, back to the really serious stuff.
Like Brady.
And Levi.
And Brady, too. We're the 3 members of the Nerdish crew.
That was perfect. We didn't plan that.
Not at all. We don't plan anything. If you couldn't tell by this rap. That was the one thing we rhymed.
That was the one thing.
Which makes it a rap.
Yes. All raps have one rhyme.
We'll see you on 2 West.
Yes. 2 West.
6, 7:30 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time.
Keep watching, because it'll turn into us, but probably not wearing the wigs.
Yes, and we'll be much more responsive to whatever you have to say.
You could ask us questions right now. We will not answer them.
Also, we take no responsibility for anything we've done in this pre-recorded session.
Yes. Any lost items, Nerdish is not responsible.
Right, we don't have anything to do with it. We're very different people in the present than we are from when we're recording this video. You might say we are the pupae of Nerdish right now, and in the future we will be the moths.
The
Because
disgusting gray moths.
Yes, those gray moths that you hear, they're like the bats of the flying community.
The wings are leathery. They're leathery wings.
Very leathery.
They're basically butterflies, but we hate them.
Yes.
They're the rodents of butterflies.
This is true.
Right?
Just like the ACT is the rodent of the SAT.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all.
Ha-ha! It is I.
Go ahead and restart.
We.
It is us.
Me.
Is it not? It is us. Is it? It is we.
It's us.
It's us.
I mean, you could say it depends what you want to say.
This small white square. I'm holding it in my hand, my lord.
Dang it.
Levi's signing in so that we can see what you're saying. So you might need to say what you're saying right now another time. There we go.
Oh my god, I hate that.
With cars.
Nobody said anything yet.
All right, here we go. It's kind of far away.
Dude, click the cars.
That's a car.
Middle right.
This
Bottom
one?
right. Yeah, middle right and bottom right, both of them. Yay.
Oh, we got some viewers already.
3.
Yeah, well, that's something.
Stop talking about it.
What? You were the one that said a number.
Hey, Matt. How are you, Matthew?
Ring Matthews.
Matthew Ring in disguise.
Ring, ring.
You have questions, Matthew?
Matthew.
Ask your questions.
Matthew is wearing a ring. Matthew got married. He's wearing his ring. Very exciting. Pretty cool. Very exciting.
No questions.
No questions. Yeah, right. You got questions. Beep, 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 beep. Hello, Levi in chat. How's it going? Slayer Darth, you just copy and paste that. Maybe that's just part of your notepad on your computer. You just, every time you start watching us, you just go up there and copy, paste. And by the way, what about Brady? You just say hi, Levi, in chat. I'm a little offended. I feel offense towards me. Yeah, I know, we had to change our schedule. Kids are back in school. Summer is winding down. Yeah, you forgot me, didn't you? The guy that's just conveniently currently on the screen and thus the most forgettable. I understand.
You are my most convenient business partner.
I'm extremely convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely what people use to describe me.
Yeah.
Yep. I strive for convenience. You can fold me up and take me camping. Just add water. That's what they say. No need to do anything else.
All right. Do you want to do this question?
Sure.
Oh no. You know what? Let's. Jay's not here. Noble's not here. So we'll. Oh wait, no. You did Noble's. We didn't do Jay's, but Jay didn't say hi last night. So maybe if he says hi. I'm gonna go to the ACT Discord and start doing some stuff. I posted. Could you say hello on that comment?
Are you gonna stay up here for right now?
Yeah. I'll stay up
Okay.
here and do a question from here.
Sure.
Sure. You don't have to say hello. You just need to, give it a little.
Oh, I know what to do. I'll be right back.
Okay, this is not a ton of questions here on the ACT. I never understood. Oh, because that's why. Could you help me with a little maths question? Possibly, yeah, if it's related. What's the question? Why? Why is this happening? Long division with polynomials. Oh, yeah, baby. We can certainly do that. Yeah. Let's do some long division. So, what do you want to do? You want to do something nice or something not so nice? Like, you want to do something like, here, let me just figure one out. So let's do x plus 2 times 2x minus 3. Let's say that that's what we're going to get. So we get 2x squared, 4x minus 3x, so plus x minus 6. Okay, so let's do 2x squared plus x minus 6 divided by x plus 2. You want that? Does that make you happy, Darth? So we can do this? What's up?
So that was aggressive.
Why?
Like, does that make you happy?
Hi, Kuz. Hello. Sweet, sweet Kuzi. That should be fine. Oh, yeah. Nice. Okay, so polynomial long division is just like normal long division, which you might not quite remember anyway. So is it okay if I go through what I think the steps should be? Yes, do it quickly because I can't necessarily wait. But go fast. Yeah, I'm going to look up some... why don't you do this, and then I'll pull up another question. Do that while you do this. Why? What have I done? Why did I do that? Yeah, we could maybe do this. Maybe not. Might not be that useful. Yeah, let's okay. So take the term with the highest x power inside the bracket, divide that by the term outside the bracket with the highest x power. Yes. What I would recommend, so you don't have to think about the highest power, just order them the right way. So highest power to lowest power, highest power to lower power. And then yes, that's what you do. You divide with what's left over. So we pay attention to the x and the 2x squared. You're always going to pay attention to the x. You never have to really worry about dividing with the 2. Don't worry about that. So how many times does x go into 2x squared? Yes, exactly. So this you multiply by 2x, right? 2x squared divided by x is 2x. Then you multiply through. You take the 2x and you multiply by the entire thing now, just like you do in normal long division. So you're going to subtract this, and it'll be 2x times x, which is 2x squared, which is exactly what we want. 2x times 2 is 4x, so we add 4x here. And now we're subtracting this, okay? When we do that subtraction, we get 0x squared, so let's not write it. And then we have x minus 4x, which is negative 3x. From there, we're doing the same thing again. Then you add the next term to yes, exactly. So subtract 6. Good. And now again, same thing. Always going to be looking at the x. How many times does x go into negative 3x? It's negative 3 times, so we do minus 3 up here. Then we do negative 3, it's got to be negative 3, times this whole thing again. So we're going to subtract it, whatever is in here. So negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Negative 3x minus a negative 3x will be 0. And then negative 6 minus negative 6, which is negative 6 plus 6, and you just get 0 here. So this goes in evenly, which makes sense. It should. And we got the big guy divided by this will equal the other factor, which is how we came up with this big guy in the first place so that it worked out prettily. Happy? Are you happy? I hope you're happy.
I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy now.
Excellent. Thanks a lot. Yeah, cool. And that you don't understand. Oh my gosh, Kuz, 6, psych, dude. And now, Darth, when whatever you have left over here, as soon as you have something left over that is not divisible by x, right? So let's say that over here we get left over with a -2 or something. Then this is going to be 2x minus 3. That's what we have. And then we can't do x into -2, right? There's no other, x is not a factor of -2. So we would have -2 left over. So it's a -2 over x plus 2. This would be the answer, right? Or it's a 2x minus 3 with a remainder of -2, or -2, something like that. Good. Yeah, you got it. Oh, that was Kuz who got it, but you both probably get it. Okay, I'm going to erase this. Seems like everybody's pleased there. Thank you for being responsive, you guys. Kuz, are you excited for the test? You smell excited.
Wait a second.
I smell the adrenaline through the chat.
Adrenaline, my lord.
Why not adrenaline? This is my last time taking it. I don't want it to end. Really? Oh, don't worry, Kuz. You'll get stress in other things now. But you won't know them as well, so it'll be different.
That's reassuring.
Let's see what else we got here. The ACT Discord Reddit is just never as active as the SAT. They're just
robust.
fewer people. It's not ever as robust.
Good.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, might as well do this one. Unless do we have a question in Discord? I think not. Can you check the question? Oh, yes, we can, Kuz. That is a great idea. That's not what I wanted. What have I done? Okay, Kuz, you want Discord questions. Those will be done. This looks like a Brady question if I've ever seen one. Because it's too much writing on the math section. This looks like SAT, dude. Wait, Kuz is SAT. When are you taking the... Well, I'm confused, Kuzi. When are you doing things? This is technically an ACT cram session. It's fine doing it because nobody's here at the moment.
But by golly, they will show up.
But they're going to show the heck up. Or
in
we're gonna,
droves.
Droves of them.
They're going to drove them here in droves.
All right, Bird, you got this?
Hope so.
Oops, this is it.
All right.
Matthew, you are here, but you don't have questions. Ask questions. Ask Kuzi how he is.
That's a question.
Yeah.
Anyway, or should I say anywho?
Oh, the key. Oh, yeah, we do. We'll do that later.
No, we have to do it now.
What? Brady, just do the question.
No, we need the graph here.
What graph?
He says the bottom of the graph has the key.
Oh, dude, you got to get the key on the bottom of the graph.
You're unbelievable.
You're my most believable business partner. Once I thought you didn't believe.
Literally unbelievable.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh. That's a nice looking big toenail, dude.
Yes. All right, I'd like to do this now. Here we go. So the question is, which choice is best supported by the information in the graph? The sentence right now is, although El Nino years do not always bring heavy rains, the wettest winters have occurred when El Nino was strong. Let's take a look at this graph. So we have percent of normal rainfall in El Nino years. And we have weak El Nino, which is the darker bars, strong El Nino, which is the lighter bars. And we have years on the x-axis, and on the y-axis, what is that a measure of? Oh, it's percent. That's a percent. Okay. So if you're at 100%, you're exactly at normal rainfall. If you're at 200%, you are experiencing twice the amount of normal rainfall as compared to normal rainfall. As you can see, that word normal is on the 100% line. So let's see if there's some kind of a connection here. The strong El Nino years, the lighter bars, They definitely are higher in general. The 3 tallest bars are the light ones, the strong El Ninos. So that's interesting. And then the 3 shortest bars they are in fact the weak El Ninos. So we do see this general relationship that the strong ones bring more rain and the weaker ones don't bring as much rain. So let's see if the wettest winters have occurred when El Nino was strong. Okay, I'm not going to throw that out yet. Let's see what else we have. Strong El Ninos always create abnormally wet winters. Okay, always create. That's an extreme word. Always create. Let's make sure of that. Do we ever see it go below 100%? Yes, we do. Therefore, it is not always abnormally wet winters. If you see a word like that, you got to have extreme evidence to back up an extreme claim like that. The amount of rainfall in weak El Nino years has increased over time. Is that true? No. Why are they talking about winter? Good question. We'll get to D here. The amount of rainfall in weak El Nino years has grown closer to the amount of rainfall in strong El Nino years. Is that true? Is that true? Is there any general trend here? Or is it just sort of random? Yeah, it seems pretty random. If you just look at one shade of bar, like strong, you have it at this level, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then that. Sorry, right there, that was way too high. And then the darker ones there. There's not really any kind of discernible trend. Why are they talking about winter? That is a good question. Let's see if we can see. Let's see if we can see. Relatively every few years, the climate pattern can change the weather in the United States, particularly in California. What is winters? Well, that last sentence is El Nino may bring warmer than normal temperatures. No, that's not saying winter. I mean, I guess if there's more rainfall in a certain year, then on average the winters would probably be more wet. I agree. Winters aren't exact. Oh, okay. Well, if you look at the years, look at this, 51 to 52. That is an interesting way to categorize a year. What happens when we change years? It's New Year's Eve, which is happening during the winter. So this is referring to winter. And plus, none of the answers really explain that, like, should we be talking about winter or should we just be talking about the normal years? What? Yeah, did that blow your mind? Very good. Okay, so we ruled out B because it is an extreme question or extreme statement to make. C is also wrong because there's just kind of a random trend over time. Has grown closer to the amount of rainfall and strong. So weak has grown closer to strong. That's not what it looks like. The last strong we had was quite high. The last weak we had was quite low. Therefore, it's going to be no change. Wettest winters have occurred when El Nino was strong. Yeah, but wouldn't it be talking about, for example, year 51 and 52? 58, 65, 66. These are all 2-year cycles, it looks like. I mean, okay, you have a good question here, but at the same time, there's no sense that the problem is winter itself. Like, all of these answers, I mean, I can eliminate answers, that's the thing. We've talked through B, C, and D, why they're all eliminatable, which leaves us with A. So that must be what they're talking about. It must be winters. It has to be. Maybe you wouldn't have figured that out by just looking at the graph, but if that's the only statement that's not wrong, then that's our answer. Could I just type my question? Yeah, although, are you on our Discord? Yeah, that's where I was stuck. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Angelica, go ahead and type up your question. If you need to take a picture of it.
You put it on Reddit and at us.
You can also put it on Reddit. Yeah, that's kind of fun. We have a Discord down below. Join our Discord. People are posting questions. Oh, yawn! Oh! They're posting questions on our... there's another question like this, which I posted in Discord. Oh, we'll take a look.
That was Kuz who said that?
Yeah. change this up a little bit. Got to change the crop.
This is not going to be on the ACT.
Should we not do it?
I think we should aim for ACT stuff.
Do we have any ACT stuff? Not currently in our Discord. What do you think, Levi? Should this be the last one we do?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Whoa. This is going to be huge. All right. Question is, which choice offers an accurate interpretation of data presented in the chart? The chart, disappearance of glaciers and the Cascades. We always love when glaciers disappear. That's always a good sign. Number of glaciers. We have stationary, retreat. Yeah, the ACT is this Saturday. Retreat and gone. So let's see what we happen with stationary. Stationary pretty much disappeared after 1985. We had a couple of them and then they're gone. Retreat has been increasing a lot. A lot of them have been in retreat, and then we have a couple that are gone near the end. So yeah, things are not looking great. So the sentence says, yawn first, I'm tired. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, do I find you boring? Okay. The number of stationary glaciers decreased from 1995 to 2013, and some glaciers have disappeared entirely. Okay, do we see that? That stationary decreased from 95 to 2013. Well, here's the thing. They increased from 74 to 85, but they're only talking about 95. 95 to 2013, we don't even see stationary in there. So if they're already gone, if the stationary is not even a category at that point, we can't say that. You're making me yawn. Isn't that weird? It's contagious even over the internet? Wild. I don't think they figured that out yet. B, the number of retreating glaciers has decreased since 1995, but some glaciers have disappeared entirely. Okay, that's because we continue on in the sentence. Let's see. Has the number of retreating glaciers decreased since 95? Yes, it has. It was at 50 and now it's at 40. Okay, so that's an idea. The number of stationary glaciers rose from 1967 to 2013. Stationary did not rise from 67 to 2013. That is definitely out of there. D, there were twice as many retreating glaciers in 95 as there were a decade earlier. Retreating glaciers in 95 was 50. In 85, it was 30-ish. So that's not true at all. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay, so that's not true because 50 is not twice as much as 32. So we can get rid of that. We got rid of C, number of retreating glaciers decreased since 1995. We got rid... Okay, so A and B really... I forgot if I said A was wrong. Decreased from 1995 to 2013. Stationary. Oh, they were gone. That's right. Stationary decreased from 95 to 2013 is not even a useful statement, so it's going to be B. Yeah. Yeah, you got it, definitely. No more SAT stuff. We're doing ACT. It's tomorrow. Let's see what else we have in the Discord. You got anything?
No.
Nice.
All right, so for those of you who are new, because I assume there are some of you, after this, could you go over some logs, please? Oh, yeah, let's do it now. Yes, he did mean tomorrow. My sub ends today, so I'll resub next week so I can be the newest subscriber. Thanks, Coos. And then you get Bird. Well, I mean, if you can do it today, if you can't, that's fine. But like, then you get to see Brady be a doofus.
That's not me.
Let's do logs right now.
Let's do... Yes! Tomorrow. Which is not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Sorry, Saturday. Oh, geez. 7 times a year, Slayer Darth. ACT is also 7 times a year.
Okay, so let's do log base what? What do you want the base to be?
6.
No.
Why?
Give me a variable.
X.
Thank you. Give me another
I didn't know
variable.
that's what you were going for.
I know, it's okay.
Is it?
It's okay.
A. Batman symbol. Crucifix.
Different. No.
Star of David.
No.
Muslim moon.
Nope.
Buddha.
No, go in the direction of Batman symbol, just not so complicated.
All right. Pumpkin. Apple. Apple pumpkin, apple pie, pumpkin pie, jack-o'-lantern, Halloween.
We'll go with C.
Happy Halloween.
Okay. We'll do C. All right. Okay. For those of you watching for the first time, ask questions in our Discord, ask questions on Reddit, and then just mention us. We're called Nerdish on Reddit, so just do that with the 3, and then we can answer your questions. So, Matthew.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. So logarithms. What these mean is you take this guy, you raise it to the C power, and that equals A. So this means the same thing. It is just a setup of mathematical relationship. It means the same thing as x to the C power equals A.
So Levi's got this nice. It's got this nice loop, which is super fun.
Loops.
Another way to think about it is x is always the first thing you see on the left, but A and C just switch places. So now we have the C here and A's on the other side. I never see it in the practice test. Well, we've never seen you in practice test. Doesn't mean you're not going to take the test.
That's dumb. Thanks.
Yeah.
So maybe we should talk about some log rules, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
We should probably talk about some log rules.
Very good. All right. Here's what's going on. So let's say that we have log. Now, if you don't see a base, it is secretly base 10.
Yes.
And for the properties we're about to go over, the bases, as long as they match, don't really influence the rules. So I'm just going to make it this. Log x plus log y. If you're adding 2 logs together that have the same base, that means you can also multiply them together inside the same log. 10.
Might as well.
I want to give them an added step that might make them confused. You're going to put it here?
I don't know.
All right.
Cancel.
Adding 2 logs mean multiplying the same 2 numbers inside. And then there's subtraction. Is that a cricket?
Yes.
What is that?
That's the cricket.
We have a cricket?
Yeah, we just hired it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Is it an internship?
Yeah, it's unpaid. It's a work study thing.
Got it. Okay. If we're subtracting, that turns into division. X over y. Note the order. X is first, y is second, x on top, y is on the bottom. Note it. Keep it noted. Unnote it. Good. Okay. Here's another one. If you have the number you're taking the log of is squared, or just taken to some exponent, you can just grab that thing, really wrangle it, bring it down in front as a coefficient of the whole log. Like that. All right, so why don't we do some example expansions and compressions? Not compression. Expand and simplify. What? I don't even care. Okay. So if I said something like this, we're going to say 2 log x plus 3 log y minus log z. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these coefficients and I'm going to make them exponents. I'm going to contract this thing. I don't know what word I'm trying to think of. So it's now going to be log of x squared. We're adding log of y cubed, and we're still subtracting log z. So now we've done our exponent property. Now we can do our multiplication. Take it one at a time. PEMDAS. Addition and subtraction, you just do it from left to right. So this is the first thing we add. These things, and then we subtract that. So our first step is just saying, what is this going to turn into? We're going to put the x squared and the y cubed together. Because we're adding, and adding is going to turn into multiplication. X squared, y cubed. And we're still subtracting log z. But now that we're subtracting it, we can divide. Log x squared, y cubed over z. And that is the tightest we can make this thing. Here in the moment with you and Levi. What are your thoughts on that? Would you like us to do a couple other problems? Do you understand the basics of logs? That's an important thing. It's just another way to express exponents. But yes, thank you, helpful. Very good.
Do you have any more?
Do you have any more? Here, in the moment. We are glad that you are here with us. Could you do a problem for ratios, like the ones with A, B, B, C, and then it asks about A to C? Of course. Angelica, I was about to ask you to ask us that exact question, but I didn't even need to. You just did it.
Is there one of those questions on the overlay we have or no?
Good question.
Isn't there?
I don't know. Didn't we do one yesterday? We can make one up. It's not too hard.
We can't make one up. That's impossible.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
You are good. I feel like this magic moment when Levi is teaching next to me. This magic moment. That's what is happening. Yes. Angelica McCaney.
If that's your real name, don't use that username. That's dangerous. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's something.
Angelica Maca NY. 12? Which one are you thinking about?
Whatever you were saying.
12 is not really doing it.
Yeah, it's not quite the same.
We can make it up. It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you have that infamous... I'm going to give you the problem. You can do it.
December 7th, 1941. A day which will live in infamy.
Infamy.
Yeah. Infamy.
Yeah.
He's infamous. He's not famous, he's infamous.
Okay. So let's say you
Wait.
have...
Wait.
What do you want?
Ah. We like that.
Cool. Yeah, just make sure before you delete it, put your home address and social security number.
Yeah.
Just put it in the chat, put it in the Discord, either way. That's totally fine. You can also watch us on YouTube or Facebook. You
Yes.
probably don't have Facebook stuff because you're in high school.
Yeah.
We have Facebook, but maybe YouTube.
We used to be in high school too.
What is the OMG for?
Until the accident.
Yeah. Do you want to tell them about the accident?
No.
Okay, well, we'll tell them about the marbles. So let's say we have a 3-to-7 ratio of red to blue. Does that make you happy?
Yes.
Okay. Then we also have a, let's say...
6
No.
to 11.
Let's say 12-to-5 ratio.
Blue to green, blue to green. Blue to green.
You want to do blue to green?
Blue to green. Blue to green. John Blue to Green is my name. And I'm Hans, pros and cons.
What is that from? Okay, so we want to know what the ratio is between red and green. Yeah?
Yeah.
And these are all in this giant sack of marbles.
Marble sack is more than a sack. It's full of marbles.
Sack. Wait, you're doing this, Brady.
Sure.
Yeah. Now let's give it a little...
Every
there.
sack has that.
All sacks have tails. Just do the problem.
Hold on. There we go. Okay, so here is the problem. Let's imagine that our ratio was exactly the same numbers as what's in reality. So let's say we had 3 red marbles and 7 blue marbles. That'd be super easy to think about. Until this one says that we have 12 blue marbles. So we can't actually assume that we have 7 blue marbles because we have a different number of marbles in this situation. So here's what you do. It's like adding fractions. You have to make sure they have the same denominator, okay? We need blue to match up. It's almost like blue is a bridge between red and green. But in order to walk across this bridge, the bridge needs to be built, if that makes sense. We need to make sure that the blues match here, all right? Imagine that you're walking across a bridge, but it doesn't actually get to the other side. There's like a bridge right next to it. Like, let me draw a picture here because this metaphor is extremely important to understand. We're looking at a river from the sky view. And
What have you done?
here we go. Fast XX1.
It's fast.
Too fast for me. So there's a bridge that goes almost to the other side, and it's right next to a bridge that goes almost the other side. Okay? But neither of them make it, and they're useless together. But by God, if they connected, you could walk right across that bridge. It would be so easy. Okay? So we have to make 7 and 12 like the same denominator. So we can think of it like least common multiple, or just what's a number that 7 and 12 both go into? I hear a siren. There's probably a cat in a tree somewhere. 7 and 12, you can always find a number that they both go into by just multiplying them together. Okay? 7 times 12 is going to be 84. So we're going to change this ratio. We're going to scale it up. We're going to actually scale up both ratios.
Why not 3, my lord?
Very good. So 3 to 7. We want to turn this into 84, and the way that we just did that is we multiplied it by 12. But we can't change the ratio fundamentally, so we have to multiply this by 12 as well, which gets us to 36. 36 to 84. Now we go over to this one. We have 12 to 5. In order to change 12 into 84, we multiplied it by 7. I like that noise. Same thing with 5. Gets us to 35. Oh my God. I need to kill this marker. Oh.
Ready.
Thanks, Levi. Now our bridge is built. We have a ratio of 36 to 84, and we have a ratio of 84 to 35. These things connect. 36. Oh my gosh, this marker, Levi. You've been holding out on me. This is beautiful.
Yes.
Very good. 84's match. So this is like an identical situation where we have 84 blue marbles in both situations, which means we can connect these two. Red to green is 36 to 35. 36 to 35. Angelica McCaney. Does that make sense? Think about it like... Actually, there's an easier way. Forgot about this one. So we have red to blue, and we also have blue to green. And if you just multiply these two fractions together, the b's will cancel, giving you red to green. So red to blue, we said, was 3 to 7. Multiplying that by 12 to 5. This gets us 36 over 35. There's also that.
I want this one back. You can have this other one.
The crazy aviator. We're not writing backwards, even though it looks like it. The camera flips the footage.
Yeah.
Nice try. He's not writing backwards. You guys got to calm down. No one's writing backwards here. No one.
If you can ask this question, you can ask questions about the ACT.
He's right.
Yeah. You probably didn't realize that. Even though that's literally what the stream is for.
I think we have more than 3 people watching right
Yeah,
now.
restream's wrong. It's on Twitch, it's fine.
How many people do we have on Twitch?
400-ish.
What?
I'm just kidding, obviously.
I know. I was kidding about
nah.
being surprised.
Were you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Levi.
We need more questions. You
Levi.
shouldn't feel stupid.
No. 15 watching. Sick.
Oh, yes.
How to turn word problems to equations.
Look at
for
us
example.
go.
Oh, we
Ooh.
love that.
Oh, we love that so much.
Here in the moment.
Why don't you give us a question? Do you? If you have questions you've been working on, we can do that, or we can
We can
pull one
make
up
up. We can make something up. We can absolutely make something up. We just gotta let this dry first.
Yeah, it's got to dry.
It's gotta dry, guys. There's nothing we can do about it. It quite literally has to dry.
Yeah, let me see if I can post the worksheet I made.
The worksheet.
Worksheet.
Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
One less than the. Oh yeah, we know. We love that stuff. We love that. Okay. We are translating verbal sentences into mathematical
equations and expressions. That's what we're doing. Direct translations. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Okay, so we'll say 4 is 1 less than the square of x. Good. What you need to figure out first is where your equal sign is going to go. And there's a couple different phrases you might see used for that. In this case, is means equals. If something is something else, that means it's equal to something else. Is going to be equal to. Okay? So 4 is clearly going to be 4. I'd like a quick review of logarithms in the context they were used on the test. Crazy Aviator, we actually just did logs like 10 minutes ago. So you can watch earlier on the stream if you have a specific log question you'd like us to talk about. Rewind. Yeah. Okay. Here's the hard part. You might think 1 less than means, oh, 1 minus. And okay, then the square of x. Well, let me give you a little example. What is 2 less than 10? Well, it's not too hard. It's 8. That's what's 2 less than 10. But think about the order we just had to do this in. You have to find 10 first, and then find whatever is 2 less than that. So you start with this number, and then you subtract that number. It's not in the order that these words are. You have to start with this, and then subtract 1. So the square of x means x squared. Like the square of 5 is 25. The square of 10 is 100. It just means you square this thing. So the square of x is going to go here, and then we're going to subtract 1 to find what's 1 less than that. And right there, that is just a quick little example. I'll give you a couple other tricky things. It's going to be super tricky. So let's say, here we go. Okay. 2 more than 4 times a number is 47% of 63. Okay. If there is a phrase a number, that means that's a variable. If we're trying to find a number, we don't know what it is. That is just the situation where you throw in a little x for yourself. Just for yourself. Take care of yourself. Give yourself an x. Okay? So 4 times a number would be 4 times x. So that's going to be this. All right. So we've done this so far. Okay? 2 more than that. How do you find what's 2 more than something? You add 2. Now in this case, because adding is commutative, meaning you can add in either order you want, 2 plus 4x or 4x plus 2, we can literally just turn this into 2 plus. Doesn't work the same with minus for the reasons that I talked about. Okay? So this is 2 more than 4x, 4 times a number, is, there's our equal. Now here's kind of the hard part. 47%, you don't put percentages into math equations, you put what they are in terms of decimals. So 47% is 0.47 of. Of means multiply. Of means multiply. Right there. That is how you turn that sentence into a math expression. Or rather, an equation in this case. Those two things are equated to each other. All right, here in the moment. One last thing that might be a little tricky is, okay, the number of nickels is 3 times that of quarters. Something like that. Turning this into, I don't think I want more examples, haha. Very good.
Oh, man. Actually, it's really not hot up here. I just have not a lot to eat. Okay, so you might think that, like, okay, we're going to call the number of nickels n. That's going to be n. Quarters is going to be q. Okay, the number of nickels is 3 times that of quarters. No, that's not what I meant. This is actually quite easy. I meant this. Ah, jeez, this is embarrassing. Oh, God. All right, I'm going to just get rid of all of it.
You've made an enormous mistake, Brady.
I really have.
Also, for those of you who don't want these questions, ask your own questions, and then we will do those questions. If you think we won't,
You're wrong.
you're super, super wrong. I'm going to refresh that, see how that does for us. Yeah, now it's working. Okay.
Here, I'll put it up here while this is drying.
What are you putting up?
This confusing sentence.
Good joke, Crazy Aviator.
Oh, that's very good.
We need the weirdness level in chat to increase. Ideally, directly increase. What is this?
That's what.
Increase directly with number of questions that are being asked.
True. There are 5 times as many pennies as nickels.
Dude, my sister is listening to Spotify right now. She's listening to Mamacita.
Really?
Yeah.
Mamacita, something, something, something,
This is all
something,
the-
Mamacita.
how the songs all
something,
sound
something,
like
something,
this.
something,
Yeah.
Mamacita.
Yeah,
I love that
it's
song.
just like that.
There are 5 times as many pennies as nickels. This is kind of a tougher one to put into a math expression. First, think about which one are there more of, pennies or nickels? Pennies. 5 times as many pennies as nickels. So what this would turn into is P is equal to 5n. You take the number of nickels, multiply by 5, and that's how many pennies there are. Okay? So when you see something like this, 5 times as many blank as blank, the 5 goes with this second thing. This thing is the first thing. Be kind of tricky sometimes. Make sure that you have the right thing being the bigger number. Pennies is going to be 5 times as many nickels.
So for those of you who are watching us for the first time because you saw the Reddit post or something, what is your reason for not asking questions?
Yeah.
We don't like that, obviously, because we want to answer your questions, not just answer like one person's questions all the time or make up our own. Is it because you don't have Twitch accounts? We have a YouTube account, so like you can go on, or we're streaming on YouTube at the same time, so you can go to the YouTube and ask questions there in chat if you'd like, or Facebook. Not that you have it, probably, or you can ask. You can mention us on Reddit, and then we can answer them there, or we can just answer them. But we can pull up stuff. Can we go over important outside information on the science section? Yes, we can. Teenage Mutant Ninja Twitch.
Teenage
Nice!
Mutant Ninja Witch.
Probably Twitch.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Twitch.
Yeah.
2552. Oh, is that your birthday?
Or it's a turtle witch.
You born in 2552?
So outside information, Brady went over that the other day. There are also a bunch of good, it's just a bunch of lists of things, which isn't super useful for a live stream like this. But there's a big list. I can put a link to it in chat. There have been a couple links. I'll link something right now.
I can say it real quick. Okay.
Say it really quick.
You must do the looking up of this because we explained this 2 days ago. After this, I haven't taken calculus yet. Anything should be whatever regarding the few questions that contain it. There is no calculus on these tests. There is 0 calculus on these tests. No calculus. Okay. Number 1, make sure you understand the Celsius scale. 0 to 100 is freezing point to boiling point. Obviously, it goes more than that in both directions, but 0 is freezing, 100 is boiling. The pH scale measures acidity. 0 to 14, 7 is neutral. From 0 to 7, it's acids. From 7 to 14 is bases. Got to know the equation for percent change, which is new minus old over old. Have to know the difference between an independent and a dependent variable. Just how experiments are set up. Also, you need to know metric prefixes. How to convert between metric units. How many milliliters are in a meter? Hint, different kinds of units. I tricked you. No, milli, centi, kilo, all that stuff. All right? Very simple conversions. The math on the science section is not difficult. You can do a lot of estimation because the answers are always very different from each other. So you don't need to worry about like long multiplication and getting the decimals right. It's not going to matter. That kind of stuff. So these, yeah. Make sure you understand these things. Look them up. There's some other stuff that comes up sometimes. Genetics, Punnett squares, homozygous and heterozygous alleles, phenotypes, genotypes, all that kind of fun stuff. Phenotype, more like phonotype. Right, Levi?
That's perfect, Brady.
Thank you, Levi. Thank you. Yeah. Just to wrap up the science section, though, remember, do not read the passages first. Go to the questions first. They'll guide you in their wording where you need to look in the passage to find the answers. Leave the conflicting viewpoint section till the end. It takes the longest. And above all, just enjoy the ride. Can we review ACT geometry? Oh, sorry, after. After what? I don't think there's anything.
We can review it after you take the test. That's fine.
Yeah, we can do some ACT geometry. That'd be kind of fun.
What do you want to do? Similar triangle? You want to do triangles? You want to do, angle,
slope,
types,
distance,
transversals,
midpoint. There's a lot of stuff.
You want to do three-dimensional stuff.
Here we go. Diagonal. Usually they talk about in terms of four-sided shapes. These are the diagonals. I mean, they can be on any shape. They are basically the lines that connect vertices inside a shape.
There is a formula for the number of whatever they are inside the shape. They don't need to know it. Great.
It would be n choose 2 minus n.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Angles. Okay, you want to do angles like two parallel lines cut by a transversal, like these two are parallel, and then these are all congruent, and the other ones are also supplementary to them and also congruent, like that type of thing? Or do you want to do something like...
Talk about supplementary and complementary, my lord.
Triangles like that, and they're similar. Wait, you want this? Cool. Okay, so let's talk about this. What do you want to know? Like, if we have... Let's say we have two lines like that. We have a transversal here. Let's say that this is 2x, and let's say that this is x plus 80. Okay? So, if this is the situation, n minus 2 times 180 is the sum of the interior angles of a polygon. Yes, that is true. Is this the type of thing you want to talk about here in the moment? I'm going to call you moment. I hope this is what you were talking about. Transversals, please. Okay, here's a transversal. Sorry for caps. That's okay. Just keep your voice down next time. If we have these two being parallel lines, then we know that corresponding angles. So I'm going to number these angles, or I'm going to do A. This is also A. This is also A, and this is also A. All of those angles. So this angle, this angle, this angle, and this angle. Those blue things are all congruent, okay? Vertical angles are congruent. That means if you have any two lines, those two angles are the same. These two angles are the same, always, unless one of the lines is a little off and then you don't have two lines crossing. So those are vertical angles. You don't need to know that term, but that's what they are. They're always congruent. Then we have corresponding angles. So this one and this one. That means they're in the corresponding locations on these two different intersection points. Bottom right and bottom right will be congruent. Top right and top right will be congruent. That type of thing. Then you have alternate interior. That's this guy and this guy together. Alternate interior angles are congruent. Alternate exterior angles are congruent. You can kind of get there any way you want, but you have alternate interior, you have corresponding, you have vertical, you have alternate exterior. Then you have supplementary things, which are basically the other angles to these angles. So if we have, let's say this angle here, that yellow one. I don't know how clear that yellow is. That yellow angle right there is supplementary to this angle here. Those are called same side interior angles. They're on the same side and they're on the inside. So these two are supplementary. They add up to 180. These two are supplementary. They add up to 180. I don't know how well you can see that. These two are supplementary, and also these two are supplementary. Also, by extension, these two are supplementary, and so are these two, just to each other. So this question I'm asking is, we know this angle is 2x here. We know this angle is x plus 80. What is the value of x? You're going to have, and now you need to know that these two lines are parallel. That's what these two little arrow caret thingies do. If we're trying to find out what x is. Also, if this is boring you, come up with your own questions and ask me, and then we will answer those. And it doesn't have to be math. It can be science. It can be English. It can be reading. It doesn't matter. If you have a particular question, you can post a screenshot of it if you want in our Discord or in chat here or on wherever you're watching this. It can be YouTube. It can be Reddit. Just whatever you want to do. Give us questions. We will answer them. That's the point. ACT only tonight because SAT is not happening. ACT is in 2 days. Okay, so we know that we need to figure out a relationship between the 2x and the x plus 80 to help us find the value of x. Well, what is that relationship? They're not congruent, right? They're not alternate interior. They're not corresponding. They're not same side interior. But let's say we know that 2x, this one here, is corresponding with this a guy down here. And these two are supplementary, right? This is just a straight line angle, or it's a straight angle, so the two things that add up to it, there you go. So that means that the 2x is supplementary with the x plus 80. So the equation we build will be 2x plus x plus 80. Those two angles added together have to be 180. And then we just solve. So subtract 80 from both sides, and we get 3x equals 100. So x equals 33.3 repeating. Okay? For grammar, how do you know if you should use in, on, with in a certain sentence? Like, what differentiates between the three? That is a good question and impossible to answer. So, there are too many different situations. That, unfortunately, is an idiomatic thing in the English language. If you are not a native English speaker, you're definitely at a disadvantage. If you don't read a lot, you're definitely at a disadvantage. Those things are idiomatic. They're tied to different verbs. They're tied to different contexts. So unless it's very physical, like if you mean literally inside this triangle versus on top of this triangle, that's clearly a difference, right? When it's a literal use of those words. But when it's metaphorical, it becomes just based on context and the idiomatic use. It's basically, I can't tell you. There's no rule for this.
Here's just an example. If you take the verb take and then throw in a bunch of these prepositions afterward, I'm not sure if they're all prepositions, but they'll make different meanings each time. If you take up a hobby. You take down your enemy. You take on a challenge. You take off from the runway. You take in a new idea. You take out some Chinese food. It's just built into the language. These are idiomatic expressions. Take on me.
Take me. Oh, gosh. So whoever was asking about transversal stuff. Yeah, so this is why it's hard, right? There are too many different situations. There is no rule.
Oh, it's so chill. Yeah, this grasshopper is going to drive me up the wall. I'm going to have to do a backflip off the wall like they do in the Matrix because of this grasshopper.
Ray's a very intimidating business partner. Let me tell you guys. Okay,
Business!
So, ask us more questions. Do we have anything in our Discord? We just have Kuzi's questions, which we've done. Let's just go on to Reddit, see if there's anything on Reddit. There seems not to be. You guys got to ask more questions. Ooh, this is fun. Oh, I don't want that. That looks no fun. I'm not going to do that question. Oh, great. Okay. People are making useless posts on the Reddit page at the moment.
Hey, Levi.
Hey, what are you? You're gonna say something really, really intelligent, aren't you?
How do you know that? What makes you think I'm going to say something?
Because you're a tutor. You're so intelligent.
I'm going to do an impression of you.
Oh God. Good. Do it.
You ready?
Yes.
Hello, I am Levi. Brady, you're my worst business partner. You're also my best business partner. I grew up in New Jersey and I tutor now. How's that?
I can't think of anything else to add.
That's pretty much you in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is exactly how I would act in a nutshell.
How to avoid silly mistakes, especially in reading and science. Stop being so silly.
Yeah.
Be very serious.
Yeah. Just be a mistake. Ugh. That was way more
Forget
negative.
that. So, what you want to do... okay, there's a couple things. If you have time at the end, go back and check your answers, which is going to be very tricky, especially if you're reading in science. Annotate. By annotate, I mean underline. Underline the keywords in the questions that you're reading. Underline keywords in the answers. Be very physical with your pencil on the test. If there are answers that you read once and you're like, I know that that's wrong, cross it out. Don't get distracted and have to look back at it to remember if it was wrong or not. If you're being active, read these things in your mind. If you want to mouth them to like increase the brain connection to the questions, you can't speak them out loud, otherwise they're gonna look at you funny and take away your test. But like, you want to try to like saying these things out loud is the best way to know if an English passage sounds good or not. And that's for the English section, not for reading and science. But that sort of applies to a lot of these, which is like, if only you could hear these things out loud, your brain would probably be able to do a little bit better with it. So just try to build up that voice in your head that makes you almost hear your thoughts.
Yeah. Also, approach every question the way you know how to approach that question type. So if it's
with trepidation.
Yeah, with a great deal of trepidation. Make sure on the reading to identify the question type. So if it's an inference question or a main idea question, you know how to approach those, right? It's not just a general approach. You should be eliminating wrong answers, right? I know this answer is wrong because of that. Ideally, do it that way, especially on those main idea ones. They are partially right. No answer choice on the ACT or SAT, I guess, is completely irrelevant to the passage as a whole. There is something that connects. That connection is not enough. You need to be on topic and you need to be going in the right direction. So for the science, for example, when you see that the question is more important. The answers are actually pretty simple most of the time. The question is what gets confusing, right? You don't read the question and say, I know exactly what they're asking and I have no idea what these answers mean. That's not really the case. It's going to be, you need to identify every single thing in the question. So figure 1, great, go there. Then it says this weird word in italics. Go find what that is and define it for yourself. And every single piece of the question matters. Do it that methodically. That will eliminate simple mistakes. Okay, what else we got? Do you have any tips to stay focused throughout the test? Yes. So your brain's not very good at that, right? It's sitting through like a 4-hour test pretty miserably, right? The way to deal with that is being physical, not the same way with a pencil as Brady said, but during section breaks, you need to get up and move. Do not sit. Don't stay seated in your seat. You're probably going to be unhappy during the test. If you're not, that's cool. But get up and get out of the room, go to the bathroom, do some push-ups, do some jumping jacks, get your blood flowing, because your brain needs to shut off. You need to shut your brain off in between sections so that it's more refreshed at the beginning of the following, okay? That is significantly more important than anything else you do aside from eating right and sleeping right and drinking a lot of water.
I'll give you something important.
Do you want to do a circle question?
It is I, Circumference. Shing. Here on my mission to solve circle problems,
I'll give you a circle.
marry the princess, and kill the king.
All right, Brady.
Give me a circle problem, knave.
Giving you a circle problem.
You call that a theta?
Yes.
It's a good one.
Thank you, Bird.
Stay
Sure.
strong.
Okay, let's say that the radius is 6, okay?
A radius of 6?
Yes,
Easy.
yes, and the area of this sector, so area of the sector is,
Make it a good one.
oh, I'm going to make it so good, you'd have no idea.
What should you do if you're
pi.
faced with a literary passage that you're completely confused about?
We will answer that very soon. Brady's going to do this question, and then, oh, actually, we could do it now.
Who is Brady?
I'm sorry.
Circumference.
That's circumference to you.
Sorry. Not to be confused with your brother's circumference.
Correct.
Okay.
What is the question? What
the
is
question
the angle?
is, what is theta?
Easy.
Where's your... You're going to ruin my marker.
They don't have markers from the 1400s. They only have feathers. How do you keep your momentum through the science? Remember that momentum is mass times velocity. Very good. I will use angle ratio formula. I've been using it since I was a little boy. Angle over 360 will be sector area over circle area.
Dude, use a different marker.
Why did you give me this marker?
Because it's yours.
You gave it to me. Fool!
We'll do a literary passage in a second, and we can talk about it.
So theta over 360 will be the same proportion that 8 pi is over the circle area. The circle area is pi r squared. Pi r squarea is the area. Our r is 6. Pi r squarea would be 6 squared times pi, 36 pi. The pi's will cancel. Don't think they won't. I swear to God. Theta over 360 is 8 over 36. 8 over 36 is simplifiable. That's 4 over 18. That's 2 over 9. 2 over 9. Theta over 360 is 2 over 9. Have I mentioned my plan to marry Princess Diameter?
No, my lord.
Well, I plan to do that. I shall now multiply both sides by 360, which will get me 720 over 9, which is simplifiable. Let me think. 240.
80, my lord.
280 over 3?
80 over 1.
80 over 1. 80. Theta will be 80 degrees. Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Very good.
72 divided by 9, my lord.
I should have seen that.
You should have seen it.
Fool! What should you do if you're faced with a literary passage that you're completely confused about? Skip it.
You should probably end your sentence with a preposition.
Yeah, it's very funny. What should you do? Well, if you're often confused about the literary passage, leave it till the end. Do passage 2, 3, and 4 and come back. There are no bonus points for hard questions. So you just want to get as many correct answers as possible in the time that you are allotted, which in my time was about 36 years. That was the average lifespan.
Oh, boy.
Where did I go? Where am I?
Sorry, bird.
Is it also arc over circumference? Here in the moment, yes it is. Yes it is. All those are ratios. The ratio of an angle to the whole circle will be the same thing as the ratio of the arc length to the whole circumference will be the same thing as the ratio of the sector area to the area of the entire circle. So if you're confused, as soon as you know that something is not going well, pick up the pieces and move on. Come back if you have time.
Give up, my lord.
Give up, my lord. There'll be some questions you can do. The questions with line numbers you can typically do. You don't really need to hunt all around the passage to do that. Just look at the specified areas. How do you keep your momentum through the science? Good question. Good question. If you hum the song Staying Alive by the Bee Gees, you should be fine. You have anything to say to that, my liege?
What?
What?
I don't know that song.
You know that song.
I think I saw the first season.
I will murder you. I will slay you in chunks. No, for the science section. Well, I don't know if you were listening to us earlier, but you definitely don't want to read the passages first. You go to the questions first. They give you the words that you need to decide where in the passage to look. According to figure 1, what is the height when the Johnny was eating 20 apples a day? Can you work through that passage and its questions by any chance?
Yeah, we can go through a couple of them. So this type of thing, this isn't a super confusing. I don't think it's not like an old Englishy literary passage, so it's not one of those really painful ones. What I recommend
is even if you are somebody who always reads the questions first, great. If you're not and you have problems with this particular passage because you don't understand what's going on, the questions can actually orient you pretty well to figure out what's going on. Not because you have to do the questions before you've read the passage, but because the questions will ask things that are often central to the passage. So let me show you. Ideally, read that blurb up there, see if it helps you at all. It does not in this case. It's adapted from the novel Aloft by Chang-Rae Lee, which is useless information. So let's scroll down and look at the questions really quick. Thank you, Brady. This is good that you're doing.
Who is Brady?
Sorry. Okay, I can't read that there. I'm going to have to read it here. So the passage can be described. Okay, don't read that. So it's just don't look at the answer choices because 3 of them are wrong in every question. So those are going to mislead you. Look at only the questions, see if they can give you any information. The second question is, which of the following actions affecting the family business does the narrator not attribute to Jack? I hate you so much.
It was a wet Willie.
I know that.
A wet William.
So,
Would you have preferred a dry William?
yes, probably.
Very
I
well.
prefer no William.
What am I supposed to do with William?
Leave him on your head. Get away from me. The second question is actually useful. There's not a ton of information there, but it does orient us to the fact that there's a family business. That's not groundbreaking stuff, but it actually helps when you're reading a passage to expect a family business to exist. I have found that doing prose second to last and doing passage with 2 parts lets me do the easier passages first. I guess it's a personal preference. Yes, the personal preference is those types of passage are harder for you, but whatever passages are easier, definitely do them first. That's not a preference thing. Do the easier passages first and then do the harder passages later. Often the prose ones can be very hard, so do it last or second to last, whatever you want to do. Yeah, and the split passages can also be very hard, Old Englishy type of things. Same deal. Read those or read the questions. So let's just read a couple more questions, see what else we can figure out. The narrator explicitly declines to take a firm stand on which. Okay, so that doesn't give us any info. Okay, according to the passage, what is the narrator's father's attitude toward words? Okay, so I don't know what words have to do with anything yet, but we have the narrator's father. That matters. So this is clearly a family-oriented passage, right? There's a family business, there's a dad, something to do with words, maybe writing or reading or something, who knows. And then vocab and context is useless. What or who are the twin angels referred to in the passage? Keep an eye out for that.
It's us too.
It's us, always us. What does the narrator state his girlfriend's view of his role in the family business is? So now the narrator has a girlfriend, and the narrator is part of the family business. Again, it's just a little bit more information. We don't understand what's going on in the passage yet, but as we read, now we at least have some decent scaffolding of what's going on. And I think the last couple of questions don't help a ton. Hank the Tank. Okay. So then, according to the passage, there was something snide about the narrator's daughter's suggestion. Okay, so the narrator has a daughter, a girlfriend, a father, and a family business. So you can get some idea. Yes, exactly. That's if you think that you have a problem with this type of passage. Okay, you could do this on all of them, feasibly. But it does take a second to read this. So it's not that useful for saving time unless you know this is the type of passage that confuses you too badly, and then you're wasting time just having no idea what's going on. Let's go to the split passage because those can also be pretty challenging. Here? No. Yes? No. No. Did I miss the split passage, Bird?
Oh.
Thank you. Where did it go? Why is there no split? How old is this test? What test am I doing? I don't know what test I'm doing, but it's, oh, that's because it's old. Okay. Let me get a newer test. Maybe this one? It's going to take a long time to load, possibly, so we might have to... Oh, no, this is going really fast. That's cool. Okay, so... what do we got? After this, can we go over multiplying matrices? Yeah, baby, we can. Look at that. Somebody asked a question, they're going to get it answered. That's pretty awesome, right? Yeah, if you have a calculator, you can do multiplication there too. That's not always that useful because sometimes it can be a question that like using your calculator, like it's not just, okay, determine the value of this matrix multiplication. Okay. Also, bring extra calculators, bring extra batteries to the test, extra pencils, erasers, whatnot. Okay, so this is another prose fiction one. If we want to, hopefully help ourselves out by reading the answers first, we can do that. So let's do that. Okay, so we have, it can reasonably be inferred from the passage that shades brown. Okay, so shades, Bowen. What am I saying? Shades Bowen. So that's a question. I don't know who Shades Bowen is, but we have that person, so keep an eye out for that. Main purpose of the statement, whatever passage most strongly suggests that the second set of the jazz shows at the club. Okay, we have a club, we have jazz shows, so we know we're going to be dealing with that. Which of the following details is used in the passage to indicate how the purists in the audience initially reacted to Everett Payne's choice of music? That gives us a ton of information. Everett Payne chose some music, and then the audience initially acted somehow, and then probably acted a different how later. Okay, that's a ton of information from one question. That can help you enormously. Okay, I'm going to move on from this. I think this approach makes sense. Don't do it for all the passages necessarily. If you don't have problems with all the passages, don't do it for any of them if you're doing fine on the reading. But if you find yourself getting confused, this is perfectly good to do. I recommend practicing it tonight and or tomorrow night so that the first time you do it is not on the test. Don't do anything for the first time on the test. Not a good idea. Okay, let's do... what am I doing, by the way? I forgot.
Matrix multiplication.
Matrix multiplication. Yeah, we can do some matrix multiplication. With matrix multiplication, hey Brady, can you erase the other side of the board?
Sure.
Thank you. A, B, C, D times, so just the very basics, W, X, Y, Z. If you're multiplying these two together, one way to make it way more visually simple is move the second equation, or move the second matrix up. Move it up here. Order matters. You can't, so this times this is not the same as this times this if you flip them. The order matters. So I'm moving the second one up higher. The reason I do that is because then I can line things up super nicely. This actually tells you, what's the oh my bad for? Was that earlier? Whatever. So what you do for this first piece is in this spot here. So the first place in our resulting matrix. Oh yes, thank you. You're multiplying these two matrices together. You go across this row, you go down this column. Okay? So we're going to do, you're just pointing at each individual spot on the multiplying matrices, and you're going down like that. So A times W plus B times Y. That's what it will be. AW plus BY. And then the second spot, so right here, is going to be, instead of in the first row, we're now in the second row. But we've stayed in that first column. So now it's going to be CW, so we have these first two, and then the second two. So CW plus DY. You're always adding in between them. Please let me know if that makes sense or if it doesn't. And then we have the last two now. These have spread out. If these are constant values, then we would get a number like 7 or -5 or whatever in there. So we still have this second column here. So we need to now do the first row and the first row here and the second column here. Yeah, good. Ask for other stuff that you want reviewed. So here we go, AX plus BZ. That's the wrong marker. AX plus BZ. And then the last one is the CD row and the XZ column, and we get CX plus DZ. So that will work every time by pushing this second one up. Don't push the first one up, then you're going to be doing something weird. Actually, I've never thought about that. No, you should not do that. So I'm glad that makes sense, but now there are some problems. These two are these are 2 by 2 matrices, so it's very easy. But Brady just set something up that's very interesting. So when you're multiplying matrices, if you're wondering whether or not you can, just start, and if you run into there are 2 ways to figure it out. If you just start multiplying them together and you run into a problem immediately, you can't multiply them, and I'll show you what I mean. So if we are going to multiply, let's say, this matrix by this matrix. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to move the second one up. So now I have 6, 2, 3. If I'm multiplying those 2 matrices, so it's this guy times that guy, then I start. So I'm going to start in this first spot. So first row, first column. There's only 1 column, so this will be small if it works. And we get 6 times 1 plus, so I'll do 6 times 1 plus, I should have done it the other, whatever, 4 times 2. And then we have plus 3 times nothing, right? We have 1 and 6, 4 and 2, and then we have this 3 by itself, and we can't multiply it by anything. Therefore, you cannot multiply these 2 together, okay? That's the rule. So this is how I remember it. If you can't do that first spot, you cannot multiply the matrices. You are not allowed to do it. It doesn't exist. It's undefined, whatever you want to say. Now, there is another way to know if you can or can't do it. This is a 3, so you do the number of rows and the number of columns. There are 3 rows here, right? 1 row, 2 row, 3 rows. 2 columns here. There are 3 rows here and 1 column there. If this number does not match this number, then you can't multiply them together either. So if you have a 3 by 2 matrix and you're multiplying it by a 3 by 1 matrix, and the first number in this set is always going to be the number of rows. So number of rows, number of columns. This is for the first matrix and the second matrix. If these 2 numbers don't match, then you can't multiply them together. And then the resulting matrix will have the size of those 2. It will be a 3 by 1 matrix if these 2 match. Please let me know if that makes sense or if anybody has fallen behind for any particular reason. Now, these can be slightly misleading. Like if we multiply these 2 together, we're going to get something pretty interesting. So if I do 4, 7, 3 times 6, 3, 2, 6, 3, 2, sorry, that's weird. Columns must match rows to multiply them. Yes, the columns of the first one must equal the rows of the second one. I think it's very easy to confuse those, so I like setting it up and trying. If it doesn't work, it won't work. The first one won't work. No, not a single point on this resulting matrix could possibly work, so just try the first one and it won't work. If it does, then you can do all the others, and then it will. So these 2 matrices multiplied together will give us 4 times 6, which is 24, plus 3 times 7, which is 21, so that's 45. And then 3 times 2 is 6, so we get 51 in that first spot. Now, there's nothing else to do. That's it. That's the resulting matrix. The resulting matrix is just 51, even though this is a 1 by 3 and this is a 3 by 1. But we can see that this should have worked anyway. 1, 3, so 1 row, 3 columns, 3 columns, great, 1 row. So there was, oh, you can't even see that. There's 1 row up there. Multiplying these 2 together, you can do that. You both have 3s, and then it's a 1 by 1 matrix. Thank you so much. Yeah, no problem. If you switch the order of these, I'm not going to do it because we spent a while on this now. If you switch the order and you did this times this guy, you are going to get a 3 by 3 matrix, not a 1 by 1 matrix, because you have 3 rows, 1 column, 1 row, 3 columns. So these 2 match, so that's good. That means you can multiply them, and it's going to be a 3 by 3 matrix. If you're not sure which rows and columns should match, just try it. Please ask me if you have any other questions. We can talk about this more if you really want. We can talk about anything else. Math, science, English, reading, Brady's personal life, my personal life. We'll talk about it. You might not get the answers you want, or care to know.
But they'll get the answers that they need.
But you'll get the answers that you, Batman. Right?
Yes.
Yes. My throat hurts.
Hey,
I'm doing
Levi.
my voice. Yes, Bert.
Where is she? Where's Rachel? Am I doing it?
Where? Yeah, that's his voice that he does.
I need to find Harvey. Where's Rachel? Where's the Joker? He just wants to know where everyone is.
Do you guys do review for Math 2 subject tests? No, sorry. We only do SAT and ACT, but we do tutor privately for the math subject tests or a lot of other stuff. But that's way less free than this is. So,
Tell them it's extremely private.
but it's very private. It's very not free and very private. This is our company, by the way. It's just me and Brady, so it's not like a. I mean, it's a company. It's a company.
Woo!
Woo!
Levi,
Yeah, baby.
you're my business partner.
I am your business partner,
Till the
Bird.
day I die.
That's maybe true, depending on when you die, I guess.
This business will never fail.
No.
After the world ends, Accelerate, still up and running.
Yeah, baby.
Accelerate.
Oh.
Tutoring.com today. For you.
Should we talk about our sponsor, Brady?
Oh, I think we should.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about our sponsor, since nobody's asking questions.
Just for today, for a limited time, our sponsor is Type Bond Original Wood Glue. Because Levi and I have a tight bond.
Also, we're not sponsored by them. Unless what you mean by sponsored is they don't pay us and don't know we're doing this and might be upset with the way in which we speak of their product.
Then they're aggressively sponsoring us.
Which is weirdly labeled. It's actually got very poor parallel structure. Are you guys from New Jersey?
Yes. I'm not. Are we from New Jersey? This is how we normally talk. We have
Yeah.
to pretend that we don't talk like this
We
when
were
we're doing
talking
the
the
stream.
weirder way before.
Yeah.
And now we're doing this way. Are
Yeah.
you from New Jersey?
Yeah, we
you-
can hear it in your
you
typing.
Type from like New Jersey,
I'm from Chicago.
which is similar to New Jersey, but
Hot
different
dog.
in location and
Hot
spelling.
dog.
Oh, Chicago people annoying? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, they communicate in hot dogs.
Do they?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a language.
all right.
A foot long means yes. 6 inches means no.
My sister is still listening to Mamacita on Spotify.
That's a long song.
Yes.
Mamacita. It's a
Mamacita.
Will the September ACT have the
September.
experimental section?
Yeah, they generally do.
They generally do.
Yeah.
The September one especially. It's extremely experimental.
And very general. Wake me up.
When September starts,
And then also,
when October is in the middle.
it's always important to be awake in the middle of October so you can adequately prepare for your Halloween costume.
Very true.
Yes.
I plan on going as a squirrel. Gonna get a bunch of nuts.
Does the squirrel say, hot dog?
Chicago squirrels do.
How do you handle the hard questions at the end of the math
You
question?
just gotta handle them.
You gotta grab them when they're
them
not
by the
awake
horns.
first. Go there very
Throw 'em
quickly at the
around.
beginning of the section
Give
so
'em a
they're not
beat
prepared
down.
for you. Yeah, beat the living poop out of them. the poop out of them. I don't know, that's what my mother said.
How to handle. Here's how you handle them. You either know the content or you don't.
With poise.
With poise. You handle them with poise, yeah. Now there's some strategies we can talk about.
Yeah.
But there's going to be things that you don't know. Remember, when you run out of time, you want to guess on all the ones you didn't get to. Put the same letter for all of them.
Yes.
If you're feeling A for all of them. Don't mix it up and go around the place. You're ruining your
Correct.
chances of getting a fifth of them right on the math section.
You are correct, Crazy Aviator.
Yes.
Also, there are other ways like throwing math at things. You might not know exactly what to do at the beginning of the problem when you've just read the question, but if they have a circle and they have some thetas, you might be doing trig. You're probably not doing
Not trig.
Not trig, which is all other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we should show them some
Label
strategies.
things. I mean, we're very sorry. They're hard questions for that reason. Drawing things is always a good idea. It's.
Oh.
I remember when I was drawing as a small child.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was then quartered. I was drawn and quartered.
Oh no.
I was tarred and feathered.
Who courted you?
A
Nice girl.
Yes, she was.
The courtship went
Yes.
well. Yeah, ellipses can be on the ACT sometimes. Let's talk about them. So, ellipses come
All right.
in two flavors.
While Brady is describing the flavors of ellipses, which will help you in your life, please ask more questions. There are a couple of you asking questions. There are more than a couple of you not. What are you doing? You're just watching us tutor other people, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but it's certainly not the best. The best thing, literally, in the world is to ask us questions and have them answered. It's a tit for tat. Are those the two flavors?
Yeah. One of the flavors is a horizontal ellipse, and one of them is a vertical ellipse. You know what? I take back what I was doing.
Are you going to do A is greater than...
Yeah. No. We're just always does A and B. Okay,
Yeah.
Here's what's going on. Okay? You've got two different radii. They're almost like circles, but then they have a vertical and a horizontal radii that are different. Okay? So, from here to here, I'm going to call this the x radius. That's what A is. Remember, what goes in the bottom of the fraction is A squared. You got to take the square root and say, okay, that's what A is. That's what goes here. This right here is B. All right? Same deal with this, A and B. Probably wondering why. Oh,
Fred
no!
Oh, what happened? What's on your head? Can you do this?
You're taking my headband off.
Yeah, please do it.
Oh my god, what are you doing?
I'm just doing it. You know.
Okay. Go to the equation of a circle.
Please.
Wow, yeah, that's quite the command there. Quite the imperative sentence.
Notice there's no subject in that sentence because it's implied, because it's imperative.
Very good. Okay. One more thing about ellipses. They have what's called foci. It's the plural form of the word focus.
Is it
Okay?
not foci?
No, it's not.
I thought it was
Foci are points that actually generate the ellipse. An ellipse is a collection of all points whose the distance is it's basically just remember that the foci are on this symmetrical line that cuts through. This is called the major axis. It goes along the length of the thing. All right, here is the horizontal one. Here is the vertical one. So very quick, just a quick little
bird. Let me get that out of there for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought that might help.
X squared over 16 plus y squared over 36 is equal to 1. Always set equal to 1. Always be closing. Always be closing A.
They don't know
B,
what you're
C.
referencing.
I know, but I do. This would have an A squared of 16. B squared of 36. A is 4. B is 6. So, this right here is going to be 4, 0. Because it goes a distance of 4. Up here, this is going to be 0, 6. Because it goes a distance of 6. That's an ellipse. Very fun. Okay, circle time. Circle time.
Hey, Brady.
What?
I think we normally explain why the equation of the circle is the way it is.
Should we not?
I don't think we should necessarily because the test is in 2 days.
Very good.
Oh, this it's not Windex. We're not sponsored by Windex, and also it's just water in here. It's backwards, Brady. It's like an owl of water.
You don't know that.
Well, you know, I thought owls.
Here in the moment, I made it up. I put 16 and 36 there just as an example. So that to show you that if it's 16 and 36, the ellipse turns into something with an x radius of 4 and a y radius of 6.
Also, here in the moment, literally everything is made up. There's not anything that's not made up. Yeah. So I guess you could say I got them from my brain.
So you can take that to the bank and...
Yeah, the question will either, I mean, there's a couple different ways the question could ask it. You know, which one is the picture of the following equation of an ellipse, or which equation sums up the picture of the ellipse, or which points are the foci of this ellipse. You know, you're probably not going to see an ellipse, but you might.
Also, to interject, I'm very sorry for erasing this prematurely.
It's okay. All right, here's the formula for a circle. X squared plus y squared equals r squared. So if it was x squared plus y squared equals 25, I made 25 up.
Oh, you did
Stop.
not. Also, we don't condone violence.
We very much don't.
Yeah.
The radius would be 5 in that case, because this is r squared. So you say, oh, well, my r squared is 25, so my radius is 5. So this stands for a circle that's centered at the origin. The origin.
Wait. Remember, I don't think they heard you. Why do you tell them again?
What is foci? Do we know about foci for the test?
Yeah.
What is foci?
Yes.
Okay, you don't need to know how to calculate the foci. All you need to remember is that the foci are points that are on the major axis. They divide. This is the central point. It's the same distance from here to here. There's been only one question I've ever seen about foci, and it was just label the points the right points.
Wasn't there that like that animated movie with the guy who's like this and he's got, you know, in San Francisco?
Yes, I remember in San Francisco.
Oh yeah.
Because it was the Japanese mixture.
Also, a made-up city. Also, it's important to know how foci is pronounced.
It's
pronounced
foci.
Foci.
It's not. It's
Yes.
foci.
Oh.
I've looked it up.
But they ask you for the phonetic spelling of it.
So this circle has a radius of 5. Remember, a circle is a collection of all points that are a radius distance away from a central point. All right, if you're at 0 and you can throw a rock 5 meters away, and you got infinite rocks, you throw them in every direction you can, all 5 meters away, you're going to get a circle. This is where all the rocks landed.
Is that that parable in the Bible? Like you're at the origin and you have rocks, let he who cast the first stone in all the directions.
He must invest in the glass house.
Right.
That's right. Okay. So, that's when they're centered at the origin. If they move them around, they can do that these days. They might move it over here. I like to move it. You like to?
You know, nobody knew that was coming.
Move it. Okay? Let's say the center here was 4, 6, and the radius was 3. What are some of the most important things to take note of for the science specifically? Oh, specifically. Look at the okay, yes, fair. Yes, do not read the passage, read the questions. The questions are worded in a way that they'll tell you where to look in the passage. A lot of the answers you'll be able to get from the figures, the graphs, and the tables. Sometimes they'll ask you something that you don't understand, and it's because there's something you don't get that's in the passage. You have to hunt a little bit around, maybe for like the definition of a vocab term. Leave the conflicting viewpoint section for the very end. There's a couple of outside knowledge things you have to know, such as pH, Celsius temperature scale, percent change, independent versus dependent variables, and metric prefixes. Okay. So what this is going to mean, here's what happens. The general form of a circle is this, where H and K represent the center of the circle. We're subtracting H and subtracting K. Remember that. If the center is 4, 6, this equation is going to be x minus 4 squared plus y minus 6 squared is equal to radius squared. Our radius is 3, so radius squared would be 9.
Or, as the pros call it, the bradius. Which is made up of the Brady and the radius.
The Brages.
Also, for those of you watching and not asking questions, this is a free service.
We're free.
Also, it's not just tonight. It's every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 7:30 to 9 p.m. Eastern. And also, so it's been free this whole time, and you haven't been
using
watching it until tonight, which means you've lost an enormous amount of money. Think about that.
Think about it. Chew on it.
Yep, think about it during the test tomorrow.
Food for thought.
Yes, put that food in your brain and
Think it.
And just think it all
Just
day.
think that all over your brain.
All
there.
the way to the bank.
Yep.
Cash
into
it
the
in,
bank.
go to the bank teller, say,
Yep.
hey. You
Yeah.
pull out a little thought.
Unless it's one of those free accounts that's paperless and you're not technically allowed to use the tellers.
I like those.
Yeah.
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 Because I think of every dollar bill as it's like a bank account that holds $1.
That's literally the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
What's wrong with it?
The idea.
What's wrong with well, I don't know. I come up with ideas.
I want to hit
sometimes.
you so badly.
On my face?
Yes.
In my neck?
I mean, yeah. I want your ear to ring afterwards for sure.
Will you guys help me by asking questions? Otherwise, he's gonna hit me, or he's gonna continually describe to me how he's going
Yeah,
to hit me.
and keep in mind, we don't condone violence.
Not at all.
We actually condone nonviolence.
We condone nonviolence.
Yeah,
We don't condone violence.
Ow.
We condone nonviolence.
Oh, yes, that's good. Well, that's rubbing. That's different.
Rubbing is inherently, unless it's for someone that doesn't want it. That's in that case, it's not.
Would
good.
you stop? Oh, you are a bird.
Cool.
There you are.
I'm an old dirty bird.
You're a very dirty
Covered in
bird.
trash.
Oh, you're a
You'll
trash
see me on the
covered
evening
pigeon.
news after an oil spill. They'll be using Downy to clean me up.
Yeah, but he's one of the ones where you're like, I'm glad that bird's covered in oil. That one's ugly. That's how you'll feel.
Hey.
All right. We need to answer some questions. Contrary to popular belief, we don't eat with these. We eat with your questions.
Yeah, they're our fuel. We get our nutrients.
Yeah, and then we kind of spit out the
Answers.
Yeah, it's like as a ratio, it's questions are to answers as oxygen is to carbon dioxide
Yeah.
for us.
And interestingly, if you notice,
Whatever he's gonna say is stupid.
we only use our mouths because that's. Well, no, we use our ears. Our ears are like your mouths because we take in questions through our ears, and then our mouths are like a certain part of your body. 'Cause
Just
that's where we
picture lips and teeth instead of our
excrete
ears.
the answer waste.
Yeah. You are all doofuses, because if you're watching us do this right now, there are a couple things that are happening. You're not studying, you're not asking questions, and you're not doing anything that's productive. Can you please cover law of sines?
There we go. Okay.
Yes, there you go.
Good.
Stupido, how are you? How do you know what side to shade in an inequality? All right, you do law of sines. I will do side of shading.
Okay. Something to note is that law sines and law cosines do not come up that often, and when they do, they typically give you the equation. So you just need to understand how to use it. Law sines and law cosines are used for triangles that are not right triangles. Because if you have right triangles, you can use Pythagorean theorem to solve for missing side lengths, and you can use basic trig to solve for missing angles.
Basic, your trig.
You got to do inverse trig, actually. But anyway, yes, you use basic trig in SOHCAHTOA, and you use Pythagorean theorem. If you have a non-right triangle, you can use law sines or law cosines. Okay, here's how it works. You've got angles A, B, and C, and they are opposite the same letter but lowercase. And what law of sines tells us is that the ratio between any side length and the sine of the angle opposite it will be the same ratio that all the other side lengths have over the sines that they have opposite them. Okay? So I can just make up a number here and you'll see what's going to happen. But yeah, it's very rare that they expect you to actually know law of sines. They'll typically give it to you.
Yeah. All right, are you finished?
Yeah, you can start talking. I'm going to do an example in a second.
So, we have this line y equals x plus 3, yeah? And now let's say that instead of y equals x plus 3, your inequality is y is less than or equal to x plus 3. You have to draw this line, as usual, right? And then with the if there's an equal to there, then it's a solid line. If it's just less than or greater than, then you make it a dotted line, yeah? So you understand that. Now, all you got to do is, if it's in this format where y is by itself and then you have the other stuff not with y, put your pencil, marker, pen, finger, whatever on the line, it's less than. You go down.
That's it.
This is what you're shading. Okay, you're not shading up here, you're shading down here. If this were greater than or equal to, you put your pencil there, you go up.
You go up.
You shade up here. It doesn't matter. If you get confused, you may always take a point and plug it in. So, let's plug in the origin.
Plug
0.
it in.
Plug it in, plug it in. When no one is around you, say, baby, I love you. If you plug it in. Plug it in. All right, so.
Brought to you by
Beyonce and
Destiny's
Child. Who was the original child.
Do you know that Destiny is actually still alive?
Destiny is alive
Yeah.
in a similar way to the American dream. They're both alive?
Yeah, well, Destiny had a child.
Yeah?
Yeah, but Destiny is still alive.
I thought Destiny passed in childbirth, tragically.
Oh, no. You're thinking of the other one. Free Will?
Free Willy? I thought you were going for. All right, let's just finish this. How do you know? Oh, wait, no, that's already what it was. Okay, great. Last thing. So 0, 0. We plug that into this inequality. We get 0 is less than 0 plus 3. So we get 0 is less than or equal to 3.
That's
correct. Is that true? Oh, my God.
Sorry,
you.
I was excited.
So that means you shade in everything that's around this guy. If you have a system of inequalities, you do exactly the same thing. You can plug in this 0, 0 in both of the inequalities and see if it works. That's all there is to it. Okay? If it doesn't look like this, you can manipulate it so that it looks like this, and then you can do the put your thing on there, go down, you go up, whatever you want to do.
Manipulate, from Latin, manus, meaning hands.
Pulate, meaning change the equation.
Pulate. Pilates,
Meaning,
Joseph Pilates' workout philosophy.
all right. All right, we need more questions, otherwise we'll start insulting you.
We will. Don't think we won't.
Don't think we wouldn't.
Speaking of exercise.
Oh, yeah?
Here it comes. You want to hold my hand while we're waiting for this?
Yes.
This is going to be good.
It's going to be so good.
So here it comes.
We're ready. Will exercise before the ACT help you focus? It won't help us focus because we're not taking it, but it might help you focus. I recommend doing your normal routine, though. If you don't normally get up at 4 a.m. to go on a run, don't do that.
Don't do it.
That's stupid.
Yeah. Wake up early enough to do things to wake yourself up, like take a shower, listen to music.
But yes, physical activity is a good idea.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily tire yourself out, okay? You don't want to be exhausted. Make sure if you do something physically strenuous, you hydrate, you drink your protein shake. Make sure to put the kale in it, not around it, as Brady normally does.
Hey, don't tell them that. That's very private.
Yeah?
Just like our tutoring.
Yeah. Nice.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Sorry. Like I said, this is where we excrete our waste.
Yep. There it is. It's all the waste. It's just gas right now because you're not asking us other questions, so we just fought.
That's all it comes out.
Yep.
Yeah. I jammed my favorite songs on the way, and it helps pump me up. That's a good idea. What are your favorite songs? Why don't you tell them that, and it'll pump them up as well.
Is it Mamacita by Spotify that my sister's listening to? It's still Mamacita, featuring Jason Derulo.
Jason Derulo! Jason Derulo.
Jason Derulo.
Yeah, you listened to the remix of Somewhere Over the Rainbow from The Wizard of Oz?
If you actually play that song backwards, it says Jason Derulo many times.
Yeah, that's where he got his name from.
Yep.
Just says his name over and over.
Yep.
Very matter-of-factly.
Yes. Does anybody have questions about like this type of thing? How to prepare, what to do in breaks?
Africa by Tardo. That's a great song.
Yeah.
You know that song?
Yeah.
You do, right?
It goes like, whoa,
Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum.
Jason Derulo. Yeah.
Bum, 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 ba-dum,
That's also a good one. So if you have other questions, or what foods should I eat before the test?
Strictly pomegranate seeds.
Not the juice around them, the seeds themselves. So you have to strip all that juiciness that tastes good and just eat the seeds.
No, when they say like a balanced breakfast, that is exactly what you want to have. You want some proteins, you want some fruits, you want some carbs, You want all of it because they interact with your system and they produce blood sugar on different schedules. You want to
Yes.
be able to sustain your energy the whole time.
Everybody loves bloody sugar.
Also, enough food.
Yes.
Eat enough food.
Yes.
Bring a snack. Bring it.
Also, we're sponsored by breakfast, so they're asking us to tell you to have breakfast.
Yeah.
For the break, eat something with a lot of protein.
Yeah, such as human flesh.
Yeah, that
It's got a
always
lot
has
of
lots
protein.
of protein.
And your body knows what that protein is. It recognizes it pretty
Yes.
quickly.
Turkey leg, lols, both of those. Yes,
Turkey like in medieval times, just a massive turkey leg.
yes. You must have a beard to eat a turkey leg, though. If you don't have a beard, do not eat the turkey leg.
He's saying beard.
Yeah. What do you say? What'd you
Lols.
hear?
Wolf. Oh no.
All right. So this is derailed a little.
I'd say it's gotten back on track.
I don't think you should say that.
Sure. Fair. Fair. Fair.
All right. So, top comment on the Reddit ACT right now is useless. We're not going to answer that. It's just if
Should I
I get a
retake the
37
test?
or above on the ACT this weekend, I will literally kill myself. No, you won't. You just want attention. And we gave it to you. Awesome.
You fell right into his trap.
Also, I think Tifu is watching us right now. Hey, Tifu. Hey, Ninja.
Who's Tifu?
They're SAT, ACT students. The subreddit is a mess. Why is the subreddit a mess, by the way?
Who let it become this way?
Yeah. Wasn't there a cleaning person that was supposed to come? Why didn't they show up?
They fired him/her
Oh my gosh.
for insubordination.
All right, can you actually comment on this post and we can link it and then I'll do this one?
Fine.
Yeah? Thank God you made that sound before you left the screen. That way people know how to remember you. All right. All right, so what about... Whoa, my God. We're going to do a question really, really, really fast, and then we'll get back to saying stupid things. That's not true. We'll do questions as much as possible until you don't ask questions anymore, and then we'll do stupid things until you ask us more questions. That's the way it works. Up in here, up in here. Oh my God. Must peace out. Have a lovely evening. You don't need it, but good luck. Remember, if you get worried, anything emotional is negative or even positive, repress, dissociate. Very good. All right. So, 45. Looking at the answer choices, what are we dealing with here? Always recognize the question type, what you're being tested on, and then approach it based on that. So, it looks like we have commas, we have a semicolon in D, we have no punctuation in A. Let's start with D. D has a semicolon. The rule for semicolons is you need an independent clause before and you need another independent clause after your semicolon. Do we have that situation? I doubt it. What had started as a challenge on a winter day, that's not an independent clause, so D is wrong. Let's just put A, B, C, and D here. We know D is wrong because, wow, I managed to make that slightly ambiguous. D is wrong. Very good. Oh, my back hurts. All right, D is incorrect because we have not an independent clause before, and then also not after either. So D is wrong. Now let's go to another one. I want to start with B because that's what the person put here. And always, if there's an answer circled on your test, go with that one. B. We have a comma here. Let's identify our independent clauses. Anytime you're doing punctuation questions, you should do independent clause stuff. Where is it? What's going on in the sentence? What had started as a challenge on a winter day had quickly evolved, had quickly evolved into the first game of basketball. Whoa. All right. So, there are 4 uses of commas. If you don't know them, you must know them. The first is listed. The second is comma fanboys. 4 uses of commas on this test. Third is dependent clause, comma independent clause. And the fourth is non-essentials, or in other words, a positive. That is the technical term. I don't like that term because I don't think it is clear what it means. Non-essential is a little bit more clear. Please ask your questions. Do not just watch me do this. That's so ridiculous if you're doing that. ask questions. All right, did you link it?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, so proud of you. All right, so we have a comma after the word day. Is that a listing comma? No, it's not. We're not listing anything. Is it comma fanboys? No, it's after the word day. The next word is had. It's not comma fanboys. Is it a dependent clause, comma independent clause? Let's try to see if it's an independent clause after this comma. We have had quickly evolved into the first game of basketball. No, we do not have a subject. If we don't have a subject doing the verb, we don't have an independent clause. And our last choice is a non-essential. If you have a single comma in a sentence and you're saying that it's a comma that offsets a non-essential. Also, if these ideas don't make any sense to you, please ask me to clarify because these are extremely important for this test.
Nothing you do makes sense to me. Can you please clarify everything you do?
I will clarify you right out of here
All right.
with my knuckles. All right. So, one comma means that you need to either have the independent clause before and the non-essential after, and the sentence ends, or the non-essential before and the independent clause after. We don't have either of these situations because already we have proved multiple times that we don't have an independent clause before this point and we don't have an independent clause after this point. We have just gone through all 4 possible uses of commas for answer B, which means that it cannot be a comma because it's not one of those 4 uses. There are some other uses like, to set up a quote or something like that. Those are a little bit more self-explanatory. All right, now let's go to C. C has a comma after evolved. It's not a listing comma. It's not comma fanboys. It's not DCIC because we don't have an IC starting with into the first game of basketball. Not an IC. Last one, is it a non-essential? Well, if we take that out, we have, if it's this situation, we have an IC before. We have what started out as a challenge on a winter day had quickly evolved. Well, we've just taken out, we're saying the non-essential is into the first game of basketball. That is wildly important for this sentence because I assume it sets up the rest of the passage about basketball. So it's not non-essential, and if you flip it, we don't have an IC afterwards, which means we have just disproved C. There should be no comma after evolved. There should be no comma in B after day. Let's check A. The answer is, what had started as a challenge on a winter day had quickly evolved into the first game of basketball. Okay, this is challenging here. That is the correct answer. It seems like there's too much going on. You want to put a comma somewhere to break things up, make it a little bit easier. It's easy if it were to just say, it had quickly evolved into the first game of basketball. Did you know basketball is a palindrome? That's because it's not. Now, this makes sense, right? We have our independent, this sounds like an independent clause. It had quickly evolved into the first game of basketball. That's clearer to you. Your gut feeling says, I like it. Your gut feeling might not say that about this sentence here because what had started as a challenge on a winter day, that whole thing is your subject, but it's a more complicated one. It's just like saying, going to school makes me happy. The idea of going to school is your subject. Going to school makes me happy. That's called. You have to go?
I have to go.
Where are you going?
I have to go to the show.
Oh, you have to go. You have a child to tutor.
Yes.
No?
No. I told you about this.
Oh, right. You have to go to the show. Oh, you weren't kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. How many people are watching us right now?
I'll check the Twitch.
How many of you are there? Count. You know the numbers we gave you.
There's 10.
All right. I'm going to do one more question. Please ask it. If you don't ask it in the next 20 seconds, I'm not going to do it. And then I'm also going to go to bed.
1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000, 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, 8
7
hot dog
times 10 to the 6 times 10 to the
9
third.
hot dog, 10 bologna, 12 bratwurst, 13 rock paper scissors.
Yeah. All right, so it seems like nobody's got any more pressing questions. Unfortunately, we're not going to be streaming tomorrow. But if you're taking the ACT or SAT after this, we do stream at this time every week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Not to be confused with Tuweth, which is an Eastern holiday.
Tuweth.
Yes.
Isn't that a potion as well from the Middle Ages?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very middle.
All right. This has been fun.
Oh, it's so fun. Have a lovely night, everybody. We'll see you soon, maybe.
And then let's finish out with what's the song Mamacita? Mamacita.